Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. Um, we were heading into town today, and we were listening to the radio, and I heard on the radio that the teachers in a Chicago school, it might have been all of the schools, I'm not sure. I didn't really catch the entire article, but the report on the radio. But as I understand it, there's a teacher strike going on in Chicago, and the teachers are demanding more money. Now, I have kind of mixed feelings about that. On the one hand, the teachers' unions make it just about impossible to fire a bad teacher, and they milk the Department of Education and the school systems of so much money for all teachers, good or bad. Now, good teachers, they deserve more money, no problem there. But by the same token, bad teachers and sometimes criminal teachers, they need to be let go. And because a teacher has tenure, they can't let him go a lot of times, and it's difficult to let him go. Fire them. It's difficult. Fire them. Well, this has been an ongoing problem for a long time. And with the state of our society today, the level of children that are going to these schools, God knows the teachers deserve more money, for that alone. But there's been a lot of talk about how to improve the schools. A lot of people think that our schools are fine. They're not. No matter how much money the education department pumps into these schools, the test grades keep going down. The test scores, the average test scores, keep going down, and it's all across the U.S. There are places where children are graduating high school and they can't read or write. They can't fill out a job application. It's ridiculous. So I had a few ideas, and I read a lot. I read a lot of books by conservative authors. I've read a few by liberal authors too. I'm not saying I haven't, but I'm a conservative, and I'm not a Republican. For those of you who think I am, I'm not. I am not a Republican at all. I used to be, but I was doing research for a book. In case you missed some past videos, I was doing research on a book I was writing, and I found out a lot of stuff about the Republican Party I didn't like. So I'm a constitutionalist now. Full disclosure, in the state of New Mexico, I am still a registered Republican because I do enjoy voting in the primaries. And in New Mexico, if you're not a Republican or a Democrat, you can't vote in the primaries. So I am a registered Republican. However, I am a constitutionalist. Now, that being said, I did a little cursory research here, and my numbers may be off because I didn't put a lot of research into this. But as I understand it, the federal budget for the Department of Education is something like $600 billion. Now, that's a lot of money. We have about, according to the numbers I found, we have 54,876,000 students in 98,328 schools. That works out to about 559, about 560 kids per school. Now, a lot of schools are bigger, a lot of schools are smaller. That's the average. $600 billion divvied by 559 kids works out to about $10,000 per kid. We hear teachers complain a lot about they have to put all the kids in the class and they have to pay attention to all of them. Some children require more help than others. Some special needs kids require more help than others. And it weighs on their time, and they're not allowed to. That prevents them from giving enough attention to every student. There have been reports of schools that have requested extra funding for all of the special needs kids that they have, and they have therefore listed a lot of their kids as special needs kids when they're actually not. That's part of the official record. They've done it. That's my understanding. It's a way for the schools to milk more money out of the education department. Okay. There's a way to fix that. Instead of allocating so much per kid, per need per kid, special needs kids and all that stuff, just allocate $10,000 in a voucher for the parents to use at the school of their choice in their area. So, if a particular school isn't teaching their kids properly, or at least the way the parents decide, they can transfer that kid using that voucher. They can transfer that kid to another school. Maybe a charter school, because charter schools have a really great reputation and they do good work. The results they get are astounding compared to public schools. Our public school system is ridiculously bad. Everybody knows it. So, and it's not wholly the fault of the teachers. It's not wholly the fault of the administrators. It's a lot of it's the unions, frankly. And you should be able to fire a bad teacher, period. You should be able to hire good teachers and fire bad ones. The requirements, for example, the unions require that all teachers have a master's degree in something. And that's ridiculous. Okay? I do not have a college degree. I got my brother through college algebra long distance over the phone. Okay? I could teach basic algebra in a school. It's simple. Okay? I can't get hired on as a teacher here at the local school because I do not have a master's degree. It's asinine. Okay? If you're teaching the same material and achieving, the kids are learning, does it matter if you have a master's degree or not? No. But the reason the unions do that is because somebody with a master's degree gets a higher salary, which gives more dues to the unions. It's a money-making scheme. That's all it is. Okay? So, if we run every school like a charter school and give the parents the vouchers to send their kids to the schools they want to send them to, the parents will be happier, the students will learn more, the money will be better spent. Or does that not make sense? I mean, right now, we have kids graduating high school that can't read or write. They can't fill out a job application. I saw a video on YouTube the other day. They had a bunch of high school kids in a room trying to figure out how to work a manual can opener because they couldn't figure out how to do it. It's stupid. Okay? Those kids are disabled for life because of the faulty education system. It's not those kids' fault. Kids only know what you teach them. If they're not being taught, they're not going to learn anything. It's that simple. Okay. Speaking of what they're not being taught, there's some classes that should be mandated in every high school. Right now, schools are they're cutting hours. The schools here in our town, they don't even go to school on Friday. It's a Monday through Thursday work week. They're missing an entire day of the week that the kids could be going to school and learning more. Why are they doing it? I have no clue. Probably to save money. But, my opinion, the kids are suffering for it. Okay? When I was young, 5 days a week we went to school. 5 days. Period. Okay, Monday through Friday, that was it. You had the weekends off. And the holidays, you had Mondays off and that kind of thing. But, spring and summer breaks. But my point is, they should go back to that. And these extra on Friday, let them teach this stuff through high school. You got 3 years of Fridays. That's 3 times 2 is 6 semesters. They can teach some of this stuff. Ready? American civics. Kids these days don't know shit about American civics. They couldn't tell you what branches of government there are in America. It's ridiculous. My son can. He's 12. You know why? Because I taught him. Okay? American civics. How our government works. How to vote. Why our vote matters. The powers entrusted to the different branches of government. Okay? There are people who think the House of Representatives and the Senate, the two different parts of Congress, are the two of the branches. They forget all about the Supreme Court. Okay? Just saying. American civics. Home economics. Teach them how to use a manual can opener. Run a household. How to cook. There's so many kids these days don't know how to cook. It's ridiculous. Okay? And it's second nature to me. My mom taught me to cook when I was a little kid. Okay? I didn't have to take home ec. I could have probably taught the class. Basic medical training. Okay? How to stop blood loss. How to bandage a wound. CPR. How to set a broken limb. God knows when that shit's ever going to come in handy, but you never know. Okay? I was making a video last night, sitting right here in this chair. Right out there, right in front of me. I heard a big boom. I looked out. Some guy went to make a turn, went wide, hit a pole. I stopped the video, ran out there to see, if I could help. But my point being, if that guy had been injured, I know how to set a broken bone. I know how to stop bleeding. I know how to apply a tourniquet. My son, he's 12. He knows how to make a tourniquet. Okay? He knows this stuff because I taught him. It needs to be taught in schools. I'm not expecting everybody to be a full-fledged doctor or a nurse. Okay? But know the basics. Jeez. This is something sorely lacking. Art and music. Every kid needs to know how to play a musical instrument. Every kid needs to know how to paint and draw. I'm not talking about, they don't have to be Rembrandt or Picasso. They don't have to make money at it, but know how to do it. Okay? Art and music opens your mind. It expands your awareness of the universe. I know that sounds kind of spiritual and, but guess what? It works. Kids with art and music in their lives learn better. Period. Okay? And they're more well-rounded adults too. Art and music develop empathy. Empathy is something that's sorely lacking in our society these days. Okay. Not sex education, but sex education biology. How reproduction works. How to take care of yourself in that regards. How to prevent unwanted pregnancies. Birth control, that kind of thing. Okay? There's kids that don't know. They have no clue what they're doing. They're experimenting because they're bored, and we get a lot of these teenage pregnancies. If they knew what the hell they were doing, okay, I am against teenage pregnancy. I don't think people should be having sex before the age of 18, period. However, wishing that doesn't happen, it would be like wishing for $1 million to fall out of the sky and land in your lap. Ain't gonna happen. But let's see how many pregnancies we can stop before they start. Okay? Sex education biology. I got a list here I'm going by. Agriculture. Everybody needs to know how to grow a crop. Everybody needs to know how to milk a cow. Everybody needs to know how to grow livestock. Shear sheep. You don't have to be an expert at it, but know how just in case. Because You never know what's going to happen in the future. All these solar flares and all these other things, EMP attacks, the power grid could go down. Guess what? You may have to grow crops. You never know. Oh, one of my personal favorites. Firearm safety. Okay? A lot of people get in trouble with firearms because they don't know how to use them. Accidents happen. Learning how to use a firearm safely. Learning how to respect firearms. That'll go a long way for us to preventing a lot of these accidents we have. Okay? It's not the gun's fault. The gun's a tool. If somebody doesn't know how to use a hammer and they break their thumb, is it the hammer's fault? No. It's the person's fault because they weren't properly trained. Well, guess what? Firearm safety. People need to know. Put it in high school, there you go. Everybody will learn a lot less accidents. Social studies and interpersonal relationships. Or interpersonal relations. Excuse me. Knowing how to interact with people. Knowing how to talk to people. Knowing how not to offend people. Now, personally, I don't care if people get offended at me or not. I honestly don't care. You can ask my wife. I offend people all day long. It doesn't bother me in the least. But there is an art to knowing not, or how not, to offend people. Okay? Part of it is empathy. You get that with these life skills. The other one I was talking about. Where was it? Art and music. There you go. I'll get there in a minute. Eight. Yeah, okay. 9. There we go. Lost my place. History. Real American and world history. Not the stuff the liberals are teaching in school these days. Real history. Okay? Learning about our forefathers. Okay? Learning how they created a nation that's the best nation in the world. The greatest nation the world's ever seen. Okay? Probably shouldn't have Democrats teaching that. Life skills. Job hunting. How to write a resume. How to fill out a job application. How to make a budget. Personal finances. How to take what your paycheck is and figure out how to put a little back and save for your retirement and that kind of thing. That's sorely lacking these days. Oh my God, it is. How many people out there with grown children, and these kids have no idea how to save for the future? They have no idea. They don't know how much money, what percentage of their paycheck should be spent on housing. Now, that's a big thing nowadays because rents these days are atrociously high. But that deals a lot with politics and things like that in your local areas. My contention is a certain percentage should go for your rent. If you're spending more than that, you need a different place to live. It's called living beyond your means. A lot of people do that, and they shouldn't. Shop. And this sounds redundant. People need to know how to change the oil in their car. They need to know how to change a tire. They need to know how to drive a car. They need to know how to work a hammer, how to work a screwdriver, how to saw wood, how to fix a door. If your hinge breaks on the door, how do you fix it? The lock on your door. Installing a new lock is a good thing, especially for them girls who graduate high school and want to go live on their own or want to go to college. Daddy, they need to know how to put an extra lock on the door. Want it like a deadbolt maybe? Yeah, they need to know that stuff. They need to know how to do stuff with their car, like, if it breaks down, they need to know how to fix it. Because relying on somebody to stop and help them is just asking for trouble these days. There's too many creeps out there. My point is, shop is a necessity. And I'm not talking about learning how to pour mold metal and like that. Excuse me. Voice is trying to go. I'm going to have to end this video pretty quick. But my point is, all these things are missing from our education system, and they need to be there. Okay? They used to be. I don't know why they're not anymore. And for those of you who think firearm safety is crap, guess what? I've seen pictures of the 1940s and 50s where in the back of the class they had a rifle rack. Kids brought their rifles to school. Grade school kids. Yeah, high school kids. When I was in school, in the high school, kids would drive their trucks to school, and in the back window of their truck is a rifle rack, and they got a shotgun and a rifle in there. You know what? Nobody ever shot nobody. It's not a firearm problem. It's a mental problem with the people we have in our society. There's something wrong with our society. It's called a lack of empathy. People don't know it's not right to shoot people. I've done videos on what I think is wrong with society and what I think the Democrats are actually intentionally doing to make our society bad. Go back and check them out. My point is, there's a lot wrong with our society. Firearms ain't one of them. Firearms is a tool. Excuse me. My voice is really trying to go, so I'm going to have to end this video here. But, again, look into your local school systems. Figure out what's wrong with them. Because we got to find a way to fix them, folks. Okay? Kids are graduating without the life skills they need. And a lot of it falls on the parents, but a lot of it falls on the schools. Okay? It's supposed to be a partnership. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.